Okay, well then. Yeah, so welcome to Epic Web3 podcast. My name is Alex. I'm CEO and co-founder of Epic Web3. We make professional events for Web3 builders all over the world. And my guest today is Kevin Liu, co-founder of Metis, an Ethereum Layer 2 scaling solution, and also CEO and co-founder of ZKM, a general purpose ZK proof system. Hi, Kevin. How's it going?
Hi, Alex. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming. So I would like to start with this. So you raised funds in the beginning of 2021 during the bull run, and now it has been crypto winter for almost 2 years already. How do you deal with this ups and downs as a founder?
Yeah, a tough one. Yeah, actually, you know, this is not my first startup. I used to have, a Web 2 business back to 2011 to 2016. And it was a live streaming application. Live streaming means a lot of cost on the bandwidth. So at that time, every morning, when I open my eyes, it's like I need to understand how much I'm gonna pay. So pressure started from there already. If you are a founder, actually, you need to be accustomed to this kind of pressure up and down. This is very nature in the market. Economy go up and down, so the market will go up and down. So it's quite nature. So I would say we need to get used to it, and also we need to be clear with our goal. What are we, aiming for in the future? So if you have that goal clear, this market fluctuation actually not quite important.
So it
Yeah.
is the goal that motivates you every day.
Yes, that's the goal.
Do you have any mental health practices that help you to stay in energy, stay focused?
I would say we really love this team. Every morning, the team members will greet with each other, say "love you." So it's something like a family. So when you have pressure, when you have this kind of challenger, team will help you. It's really like a family culture. So I would say this team, this family, is my source of power. And when every time I feel frustrated, I will go to them. So, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, let's go to layer twos, the topic of the first season of our podcast. So there are already dozens of layer twos out there. I think every month there is a new layer two, or even more. Do you think the industry needs so many?
To be honest, I think we might still have two less. If you consider, large business, maybe some gaming, or let's say in the future when some Web2 retailer business come online, they will definitely need a separate application chain. So that is, layer two can jump in to help. For now, it's still at a very early stage. I would say that.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
Can you briefly describe what makes Metis different from other layer twos?
Yeah, I think Metis started from a very different background. We didn't have large VC backed. We purely started from the community. And from day one, actually, our co-founders are discussing how we can really make this network to be community owned and to be decentralized. That's our actually some of a starting point when we start this. We hope to scale Ethereum, but we don't want to a central entity to control all this stuff. So I would say the vision for decentralization is pretty different. And that's why when we design the whole framework, we have our P2P module, and also we have all these verifiers, and we're also going to launch the decentralized sequencer pool. So to make the whole infrastructure decentralized, and there will be a new governance framework come online as well to be governed by the community. So we're not just saying the decentralization or community governance is, when you want to reach that stage, there a lot of work need to be done beforehand. So that's why we develop so much into the technical infrastructure, and also preparing for the governance, community governance. So I would say this is the biggest difference from Metis and other layer twos. Another point I also want to mention that when you see this decentralization as our core value, you will find that actually we're serving all the community members, all the people. We're not serving, big whales or big VCs. So that's why during our funding round, it was a lot of community investors joining, and also during our past 2 years development stage, a lot of community members developed their project on Metis and launch on Metis. So I would say build for the people with decentralization as a core value. That's our core difference. Yeah.
What do you mean by community investors? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, they're not large venture capital. Yeah,
Okay.
they're small, but they have big community members as a back. So that's what we value. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, speaking of decentralization, so you mentioned that you were like kind of on the way to decentralization from day one. Can you explain why is it so important to be decentralized? Why is it important for you?
I would say first, if you hope to start a blockchain project, not a general business on Web2 world, um, decentralization is one of the core cornerstone for you to operate and to sustain. That should be not just our vision; it should be the vision of every project. And also, we treat decentralization differently. When we design the whole infrastructure, the whole mechanism, we don't just want a token with that large token holders can control and to vote for their favor. We really hope the contributors can have their say. So in that way, when we design the whole governance structure, we hope different layers of contributors can participate. Let's say you are a general community member, you just do trading. You can have some ways to propose, but if this proposal is valid or not, is feasible or not, actually it will be decided by some infrastructure contributors in the ecosystem. Metis L2 can be one of them, and also we have other we call Econotes coming in. They can evaluate all these risks and potential beneficial, and then issue the vote and pass the vote or to do the implementation. So in this way, I think it can reach a balance of token holders and long-term contributors. We don't just want to put all the governance work to all the token holders. I don't think that's a long-term goal, because different people hold different opinion about the development stage. So we hope we can have different members to participate and contribute at different level. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I would say decentralization is a call to develop our blockchain projects, actually.
So every Web3 project should be decentralized, at least in the future, right?
Yes. Otherwise, they can just onboard a Web2 business. Why come to Web3?
do all of Web3 projects need their own token? What do you think? Do all layer twos need their own token?
For most cases, I would say this is a Web3 business. So you need all the community members, all the stakeholders to be involved. And token is the most easy way to get engaged with every stakeholders. But on the other side, I would argue that what's the value for this token? If this is only for governance, do we really need that? So I would more prefer for our token with real utility. That's why we define Metis token as a gas token because everyone needs that. That's the real utility that.
Okay.
And beyond that, you can have the governance as an add-on. But I'm still believe that token with a real utility gonna last long. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So, do you know some good examples of real utilities of the tokens? Because the, from what I see, mostly the token is just an instrument, just a mechanism to raise money from a public market at the very early stage, and most of the project uh, doesn't have a token with real utility. Maybe you have some examples of how it works best.
I would say I'm not as expert in this field, but what I can share is that um, Metis is one of the example that as a gas token, or there I understand like for some network they might need this kind of token to be consumed to exchange for some um, service or product. Uh, if that is the case, that's also one of the utility. And the third point I would say is that rewards also is kind of a utility part.
Okay.
Especially for mining related service, they will need some kind of rewards to be added, to be reflected in tokens. Like BTC mining, or even I understand there are a lot of new innovations going on in the layer two space, like the future, sequencer, shared sequencer or sequencer, decentralized sequencer. So yeah, for sequencers, they will need to stake, and also for sequencer node, I mean, they will need to stake to be eligible, because if they are doing something evil, they will be slashed. So this kind of staking will be one of the use case. And also, when they do the work, do the transaction, handle the transactions, they will need to have some rewards. So token rewards can be another aspect for this sequencer node. So this is related to my third point, that the rewards and the rewards related staking could be one of the utilities as well. Yeah.
Hmm. Speaking about rewards, do you see a problem that in most Web3 products, most of the Web3 traffic is kind of incentivized with this rewards? I mean, there are a lot of airdrop hunters who just make a lot of transactions, and there is a very small amount of real users. Do you see it as a problem?
Yes, I think this is a huge problem. If we purely rely on these airdrop token holders, they're gonna, fly away, from this platform to another platform. So that's why also I mentioned why the existing OP stack, all these optimism, Arbitrum, Metis, these optimistic rollups are so important because we have the real users staying here. These users are doing the actual transactions. The builders are also here. I would say the competition for the new chains can be very intense because they need to pay a high price to attract these users. But most time they attract only token hunters. Yeah, I wish we can change this in a sense, but for now, I still don't know how. because we really need some new users, not the existing, if you hope to attract a lot of one. So yeah, I think we still need to work on ways how to attract that.
Yeah, and another question here. So, I think you mentioned in one of the interviews that like 99% of Web3 is now DeFi. Uh, so, when do you think we'll see some real world use cases?
This is pretty, in the progress, I would say. Um, as you know, there are a bunch of RWA projects, you know, on the way. But yeah, of course, they will need some legal, aspect to be considered beforehand. But RWA really have a big potential, I would say, and also um, from the past successful experience developed by Web 2 world, I would say the gaming is still the way to engage a lot of users and to bring real use case into the blockchain world. Just how? So I believe a lot of team are working on that. So yeah, to be briefly summarized, I think RWA and also the gaming, that could be some, yeah, we can
Mm-hmm.
see breakthrough. Yeah.
During this bear market, there are especially a large amount of infrastructure products. It looks like everybody is building infrastructure.
Mhm.
Metis is also infrastructure product. So, do you think we still need more infrastructure protocols? Do we need more infrastructure, or do you think it's already time to build dApps and B2C products?
Mhm. Um, I don't see these two collide with each other, to be honest.
Okay.
Um, and our goal is to support a lot of users, builders, and when you see that as a goal, to onboard real world applications, to have a lot of users, high transactions, so you can understand that actually the current infrastructure is not actually it's not enough. Although we have Ethereum, we have layer two, but when you take a deep dive into that, there are multiple layers that need to be improved. Let's say sequencer, that's one part, and also maybe some data availability. We are expecting the EIP 44 and for the storage, and also when you look into the bottom layer, some settlement, um, you're going to find that still a lot of work needs to be done. So I would say the infrastructure construction will go in a long way. So that's why we when we look into the structure, and we found that actually um, the settlement layer, if we put Ethereum as a settlement layer, that's our goal. All these current layer 2, layer 1, and even non-blockchain use cases, actually they can have this kind of capability. But how? So we look into different solutions, and we found that actually zkVM can be the connector. All the computation from different chains, from different use cases from of the Web2 business, they can treat it as a computation, and going through this zkVM to generate proof and validate the proof on Ethereum. So on Ethereum, there will be a final state for all the transactions. And in this way, all the siloed ecosystem can be connected, and even Web2 business can also be introduced to Web3. So that's why we see zkVM is so important, and we
That's
incubated
that's,
this.
that's why you launched ZKM, I suppose,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes. So
Yeah,
that's.
we'll talk about it. Yeah, I will ask you about it a little bit later.
Yeah.
But before we go further, so what are the other challenges you see for layer 2's adoption among developers and users? You mentioned sequencers. Uh, what are the others?
Yeah, I would say a few. First is from the developer perspective. Although there are, layer two EVM equivalents, but for the Solidity developers, they're still, too little. Um, I would say if we can support, different languages to be compiled to Ethereum environment, that would be a big move to help onboard Web2 developers onto the blockchain world. I see, Arbitrum is doing something similar, and the ZKVM actually can also help in that way. So that is a challenge, I think, from the builder or developer perspective, and from the user perspective, there's still, I know there are a lot of projects hope to build the, seamless on-chain experience for general users. Yeah, I feel like because I came from product background, I feel like there's still a lot of room need to be improved, so real user can really onboard without any efforts. That's still a challenge for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, mhm.
Coming back to layer twos, so how do you see the future of the layer two landscapes? So, which solutions will survive? Will it be optimistic rollups, ZK rollups? Uh, will there be many of them, or one, two, three winners?
Yeah, I hope I have a eye can see the future. Yeah, but based on my understanding and experience, I would say the most easy to use one gonna survive. Which means based on the current data, actually optimism rollup are the most easy to employ, easy to use one, and with a large use base and large TVL here. So as I just mentioned, it's pretty hard for people to migrate from one environment to another unless they get a lot of incentives, but it's still pretty hard. So I'm a big Ethereum maxi and also a big Ethereum optimism maxi. So from my knowledge and background, I would say OP has a lot of advantages, to be honest. But it doesn't mean ZK rollup couldn't have its own market share. But the competition will be super intense with so many ZK rollups and also so many new layer twos OP stack. So yeah, they are competing in this in this boat. So I would say there also, as I one of the question I answered, in the future there will be a lot of different layer twos in the market, and I hope I believe OP gonna occupy a large portion of it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think they will be interoperable? Different layer twos?
Yes, they must. Otherwise, these so many chains will not make any sense. Yeah,
Okay.
they have to. Yeah. So no matter it comes from the solution from the current OP stack or under the help of CK, but they must interact with each other.
Yeah. Okay. So you have Metis DAO Foundation, and in this ecosystem, you have not only Metis layer two itself, but also several other companies, which I think you call Econotes. You have Nuvo, you have Chorus, you have B1X, and as you mentioned before, ZKM, right?
Yeah.
So first question is, why do you have so many companies in the ecosystem, and why don't you focus on just one solution? I don't know, only on Metis layer 2 and that's all.
Yeah. Okay, I see. So first, I want to clarify that these companies are not owned by us. They're a separate entity. Um, this kind of structure have several reasons behind. First is that related to our own vision. Our vision is to scale Ethereum to support the whole Web3 economy. When you say economy, it's not just some transactions on the chain. You have to think from the big picture that what a real economy need. They need identity solution because people need to trust each other without release a lot of information. They can rely on the on-chain activities. People also need to collaborate, but how and what kind of platform they can collaborate, really work together. And yeah, also I believe there are new technology going to be involved in the Web3 economy. So PYX is an incubation center to incubate these new ideas, and ZKM is a new infrastructure to support the whole scaling. So all these kind of serve to one purpose is to serve the Web3 economy better. Not only from the infrastructure level, but also from the identity, collaboration. Yeah, so that's the big vision we have, and we found that it's necessary that different we call Econotes can serve to one aspect. In this way, these Econotes will not interfere with each other. They have their own focus and can dedicate on their own mission. So that's the structure we hope to, deploy. So in that way, also we are not going to, control everything. That's opposite of our decentralization, value. So Metis Foundation, you can treat it more as a coordinator, and it will allocate resource and do co-marketing and networking with different econodes to help them to grow. So, but different econodes, they're going to play their role in the whole ecosystem. Metis L2 is one of the econodes, so they can be the infrastructure to support all the transactions, and Novo, can act as a DID, and Chorus can work as collaboration environment to reward contributors, content creators, and something like that. Yeah, and I mentioned ZKM and PYX. So yeah, I would say it's part of the vision is a reason we define this structure, and also we see that every econode need to be independent, to be decentralized, so they can have their role in the governance structure as well, and also to be focused. So yeah, that's pretty much three reasons: vision, decentralization, and dedication, I think.
How many more econodes will be there? How do you think?
We don't know yet. Actually, on with this process going forward, the community member can apply to be the econode, so they can have this grant, support from the foundation. This is gonna be open to the community. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm a builder, if I'm a founder, I can apply to become the
Yes.
one of the econodes. So
Yes.
do you have the, I don't know, the list of most wanted products, most wanted
It
ideas?
will it will be released when this structure going online. Yeah.
Okay. Can you share? Can you share something now?
I think the first batch of the target is still the infrastructure layer.
Okay.
If the project, help to build the whole infrastructure for the layer two, for the Web3 business, yeah, that's something we are looking for. But how to define the infrastructure that will need a list of requirements? Yeah, but that's generally what we are looking for. Yeah, I think the infrastructure protocols
Hmm.
is still the target.
Okay, and Metis DAO Foundation gives grants, so some initial
Yeah,
investments.
grants, marketing support, and other um, yeah help that the ecosystem can help with. Yes.
Okay. Speaking of grants, so what do you think is the best way to start a Web3 product now? Is it to get a grant from some foundation, then get some initial traction and go raise funds from VCs or from the community, or what is the best strategy you think?
Mm, yeah. In different market condition, the way might be different. So I understand this is bear market for now. I would say if you can have this grant to kick off and to build some proof of concept or even MVP, it will put you in a much better position when you talk with venture capitals. So yeah, that's a very valid way to get some grant to start, and then you can see um, who you can reach in your network. Yes.
If raising funds from some VCs, do you think it's better to raise funds in tokens or in equity or both? Or...
Different area of investor have different preference. I would say that, um, but the most easy way is still token. Yeah, that's the reality. I understand some investors from you know uh, North America or Europe, they prefer equity, but they still need token warrant. So that's pretty much the same, just the timing. Yeah. So I would
Yeah, I know.
say token.
I know some founders who don't have a token yet and don't have plans to launch a token, and they cannot raise funds because all investors want a token, and they need to just I don't know, to invent the reason why they needed this token. So they didn't they didn't have such plans, and but all investors need a token. So does it mean that as I asked before, so most of the projects should have token at least in the future? So they need to have it in their roadmap at least,
Mhm.
or is it a way to build a Web3 product without a token?
Um, First, I want to share that maybe they're not targeting the right group of investors. Also, it's related to their business nature. If they're, let's say they're really building a tech, and this tech can have its own business model, which don't need some token to be involved at the beginning. Actually, they can talk to some traditional venture fund. I think that's one possible way. And if you are talking to Web3 investors, it's quite natural because from the investors' point of view, they need this kind of guarantee that can exit at some time and point. So I would say it's pretty natural. So in either way, if you hope to raise fund, you might need to get used to this market. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so you raised $5 million before the token launch, I suppose,
Mhm.
and that's a relatively small amount of money for an infrastructure company. Um, was it difficult for you to raise more, or you just decided that it was enough and you're good with this?
Uh, Yeah, at that time, when we raised fund, it's pretty, it was still pretty hard because we were one of the first to mention about layer two, and people, especially venture capital, they're still, didn't realize the value of layer two. So yeah, it tried us pretty a long time to raise 5 million, and also from the time perspective, we were in the stage that we gonna launch the testnet and roll out the mainnet. So I feel like this is pretty important timing to close it and to so yeah, it was hard at that time, and um, so luckily, I think we started from, as I mentioned, a lot of community investors. So people see when we launch the mainnet, when we have some initial liquidity flow in, and then come to a very high, like 800 million to 1 billion TVL on chain, people can see the growth. So all the early participants and early contributors have a very good return. So yeah, I would say yeah, it's it was timing at that time.
Yeah. Do you find it difficult to compete with other layer twos that have raised, I don't know, sometimes hundreds of millions?
Yeah, to be honest, in the reality, is pretty hard because they have a big check and yeah, the liquidity they hope to when they hope to introduce to their network, it might be easier than ours. So yeah, I would say if we have opportunity to at that time to raise more, we definitely will to have more funds to support the operation and to support the liquidity. Yeah.
So the advice to founders will be like if you can raise more, right?
Yeah. But also depends on stage, different stage.
In general, what would you recommend to Web3 founders now who are raising funds during the bear market? What would be your advice now?
Yeah. Mm, it's pretty tough moment. Uh, the reason I say so is that for investors, when you raise fund, actually we hope to find that soulmate, which means they agree with your long-term vision and your short-term approach and fully support you. Uh, but in a lot of times that these kind of let's say soulmates are not big enough. Uh, they're not big brands. So in a sense that this kind of support are very valuable from these small or medium venture capitals. But also I understand a lot of founders they hope to raise fund from large venture capitals for endorsement for branding. So that's kind of I would say founders might need to find the balance between this part. Uh, you know, it should be a combination of the large fund and also medium to small one, because different investors can contribute in different ways. It's not just let's say large venture capitals will contribute more than uh, small to medium one. Sometimes not. So I would say if you have the chance to raise fund from different investors, try to find a balance, not too focus on the top venture capitals. Yeah, medium, still small one also work, and they might have more help than you imagine. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have plans to raise more from VCs or
Actually, for TKM, we are raising, and
okay,
we are facing the same situation as I mentioned.
got you, got
Yeah.
you. what is your main challenge at the moment as a founder? So I saw you. It looks like you are focusing now more on ZKM. So is it your kind of full time job right now?
Uh, yes. When as I introduced, Metis Foundation is to support the whole Web3 economy, and we found that we have different layers need to be done. And Metis L2 is the first step to scale Ethereum, and ZKVM, ZKM is the next step. So our co-founders have some discussion and feel like we need to incubate this project and to be separated to support not only L2, but also layer one and other non-blockchain use cases. It can scale Ethereum much more. So it means someone need to lead this project. And as I mentioned, I have this both Web2 and Web3 startup experience. So I have to be the one to lead this. But in a broad perspective, we are all working toward one goal, which is to scale Ethereum and support the Web3 economy. And luckily, as I mentioned, we have a team in the Metis L2 side. It's around 40 people now with its own lead, CEO, and tech BD marketing team. So it's a whole, complete setup. And yeah, they're pretty experienced to operate the business. So that's why I'm confident that I can, take the lead here. I think everyone needs to be dedicated in one area, but of course we're working toward one common goal. So, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Before we finish, I have some real quick, maybe funny questions.
Okay.
Kind of blitz survey. First one is ZK rollups or optimistic rollups?
Hybrid.
Hybrid, okay. Like ZKM is probably going to make,
Yeah,
right?
one of the use case that ZKM support to
Yeah.
add the ZK capability onto the current OP stack, without need to launch a new ZK rollup. They can just have this kind of capability. So that's why we call hybrid. They don't need to change the current stack.
Okay. Your favorite layer one besides Ethereum?
I would say Cosmos.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fundraising tokens or equity?
Well, the most realistic way is start from token. Yeah,
Okay. VC money or foundation grants?
grants to start.
Okay. Infrastructure products or dApps?
I'm a big fan of infra.
Your favorite Web3 wallet besides Nuvo?
Yeah, of course, MetaMask. I still big fan of them.
Why? There are so many. I mean, more
um,
modern ones.
yes, I understand that, but that's the one I use most. I used to get used to all this user experience.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm old
Your
school. I don't want to change.
What's your favorite dApp?
um, Curve actually, it's very simple and
Okay.
beautiful.
Do you use it yourself?
Yes, I use it
Okay.
myself. Yeah.
What is the most promising Web3 technology right now?
I would say ZK. That's
Okay.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Who is the best Web3 founder right now?
Um, Actually, I'm a big fan of Harry from Arbitrum. I think he's really pushing some innovations in this space. Yes.
Good. I think we'll have him. We'll have him in our podcast as well. And the last one, everybody wants to know, when is the next bull market?
Well, okay. I really, again, I hope to have this kind of foreseeable capability. But based on a lot of conversations going on, I think it might be middle to uh, later of next year.
Okay, not so bad.
Yeah,
Not
that's
so bad.
my expectation. Hope.
Next year is not so bad. Okay, Kevin, real pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being our first guest in our podcast,
Oh,
which I hope will have a lot of episodes. So yeah, that's all.